Hey guys, how's it going? So I made this video today because I want to talk to you guys about scams. They are everywhere, and that word is definitely tossed around quite a bit in the internet marketing sphere, so I'm sure if you are a part of that world in any way, shape, or form, you hear this word all the time. And if you are working with a company that does primarily internet marketing, I'm sure you have had to explain to people why your company is not a scam. So I wanted to talk to you guys and have just a discussion about what a scam is, because I think that's a really important thing to define, especially if we're going to have to spend any amount of time saying, hey, what I do really isn't a scam, it's a legitimate business. So what got me thinking about this is I was watching someone's Facebook Live yesterday, and she was talking about her business, and she was doing it's legit, like you really make money doing this, I make money doing this, and I don't think what she was doing was a scam at all. But one thing she said really stood out to me, and she said, we're registered with the IRS, and we pay taxes. And I was like, I don't think that that's what it means. I don't think that paying taxes is what makes you not a scam, because I think that there are a plethora of legal scams. I think some of the biggest scam artists in the world pay taxes and are completely legal. Some of the biggest scams are run by banks and credit card companies and governments. It's not about whether you pay taxes. It's about whether or not your business plan is honest. The definition of a scam is a dishonest scheme. So honesty is the tipping point. And honesty doesn't just mean not lying, it also means not being willfully ignorant of the facts that say something about your business. So I want to talk to you guys about how to, one, avoid being scammy and to avoid being scammed. So first of all, how do you avoid being scammed? How do you distinguish? If you're looking for a new or your first internet marketing platform, the company you want to promote, you know there's a million companies out there to promote. And personally, I would love to sit down and I would love to compile just a big flowchart of all of them and kind of compare and contrast. But there's definitely a few things we can look for to decide whether or not they're a scam. So first of all, what is the product? Where is the value? Is it information? Is it a physical product? Is it a system? Because a lot of these companies, if they are scams, they're selling you an opportunity to sell them, and that is it. Affiliate program doesn't mean scam, but if the affiliate program is all there is, that means it's a scam. It has to have more than an affiliate program. There can't just be buying to sell what they're selling. There has to be a real product or service being offered. You need to think about who's selling it to you and what are they getting out of selling it to you? And are you getting something out of it, or are they? Now, ideally, you both get something out of it. That's the point of a sale, you trade money for products or services. But a lot of the time, the consumer isn't getting anything. All they're doing is getting an opportunity to continue selling. And there are lots of great affiliate programs out there where this is something you can absolutely utilize. But you have to remember, if there's no actual product or service, it's not legitimate. So you also need to know where the money's coming from, because sometimes there's a theme of creating a product or service that seems real but isn't. So this is in the form of systems and education and opportunity. So a lot of it is, it looks like there's a product or service, but there's not. So if you don't understand how that product or service creates value, that's a problem. So that means, do you know exactly how that product or service will provide you with value? Or is it they told you it would provide you with value? You have the right to ask how it provides value, how it creates value. Because so many of these systems are create a passive income and never work again and make thousands of dollars a week. How? How is the money created? Money doesn't come from nothing. Money comes from somewhere, and you have a right to know how it was created. And sometimes they'll tell you, especially in things like trading and cloud mining and those sorts, like anything like that, you need to make sure who you're buying for knows how the asset accumulates value. If they don't know, there's a problem. Now, maybe the company's fine and the person you're buying from just doesn't know. Do not buy from that person. Walk away. Maybe you're still interested in that company, and you can ask that salesperson to recommend you to a salesperson who understands how the value is accumulated, but never buy something from someone who can't explain where the value comes from. So that's kind of the general overview of how you know when something's kind of scammy and how to avoid getting involved in opportunities that aren't going to benefit you. Because you cannot sell something in a ethical, honest way, which is the way I hope you want to sell as an affiliate, if you're purchasing and buying into systems that aren't legitimate, that aren't legitimately going to help your future clientele. So now that so you get into a business, and now you have to figure out how to not scam other people. So are you being honest? Are you accumulating as much information as you need to determine whether or not your product or service will have value for your customer? Do not ignore information because it might prove that there is no value in your product. Find the information, and if the information proves that your product isn't valuable, get a new product. Don't find a new way to convince people, get a new product, because there are tons of legitimate businesses out there. You do not need to sell something or promote something just because it has a flashy sales video if it will not create real value for your customers. So when you're promoting, have the information. Be able to explain to your customers where the value comes from, whether it's a product or service or a system. How will it accumulate value for them? So that's really easy if you're selling like an actual item. So if you're selling a book or makeup or clothes, that's really easy. They're paying for what you give them, and hopefully you're giving it to them. And that is where the value comes from. The value comes from the product. If you're selling a service or a system, it's a little more complicated. And if you are selling a system that you don't understand how the value is accumulated, that's a big problem. That means that you don't really know if it's going to continue to accumulate value, and you are being willfully ignorant. You need to understand how the system you are selling will create value for your clientele. You need to understand how you're providing value, not just someone told you, because that's a scapegoat. When you say, oh, well, the company told me this is how they make money, so I'm just going to take their sales video, put it on there, and I'm going to say, yeah, look, it says right here, $5,000 a day, never work another day in your life, yada, 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 yada. No. That is not ethical. It is a scam. Whether or not it works, it doesn't matter. You are selling with dishonest intention that will not create long-term buyers. It will not create customers that want to keep coming back to you, because you don't care about providing them with value. Whether you do or you don't, you aren't caring about it, and you should not be promoting something you can't understand. So if you want to promote a system, learn how the system works. Another feature of not being scammy is making sure you are living your life like your ad says you can. So if you are promising happiness, health, and wealth, you better have all three. And your closest friends and family better have all three too. Because if you have this magical cure-all elixir and you're only selling it to people on the internet, you're not sharing it with your friends and family, that's weird. That's really weird. So I like to use the question, Would I sell this to my mother? Would I sell this to my grandmother? Now, obviously, there's lots of products your mother and grandmother wouldn't buy. That I understand. But would you promote it to them? And do you want them to buy it? Do you think that them buying your product or service will benefit them? That is the question you should be asking yourself when you promote a product or service. So those are kind of the things I think we need to be thinking about in this industry, because we don't want this industry to be a scam. We know that there are tons of legitimate ways to make money in this industry, and we want to share those with people, and we don't want people thinking that we're scam artists, because we're not. We're really honest people who want to promote products and services that are going to help our audience. So that's the number one thing I want to say. Look at what you're selling. Look at it before you start selling it and decide if it's going to offer something you want to offer. Not that it has a flashy sales video, but something that will work for your clients. Because if you don't care about your future clients, they're never going to want to come back to you. They're never going to stick to you. You want customers that stick to you. And you do that by creating an atmosphere of honesty. And that is what's going to build your rapport in this industry. So if we want to get rid of the word scam from our industry, we need to take a really long, hard look at how we're selling, what we're selling, and why we're selling, and make sure that we are not being dishonest with our customers or ourselves about the value of our products. So thank you guys for listening. Maybe it's a little intense, but I just think that this industry needs honesty, and I also think that saying legality is the bar of scamminess isn't true, because I think that there are a lot more scammers in government than there are on internet marketing sites. So let's make sure that our industry and what we're promoting is really beneficial, and let's make a stand that we're moving away from this institution that was set up by our governments and big banks, and we're looking towards a consumer-based, honesty-based, value-based system. And if you'd like to join me in getting away from those big terrorist scammy banks, check out my next video on cryptocurrency. Thanks for watching, guys.